First, I'd like to thank and give glory to God, not just because of the space that we're in, but that's how I roll. I wouldn't be the same person without God in my life as a guiding force. I want to thank the United Churches of Christ for this honor. I truly am humbled. A major shout out to your staff, Cheryl, Colette, Sean, everyone else, whoever had a hand in this. You guys have been so kind and made me feel like a king through this whole process. And this means so much to me because it's a physical reminder that when I thought no one was watching, you were. And you're saying thank you and keep doing what you're doing, and I will. I'm grateful for Reverend Dr. Parker and Mr. McGannon's legacy. The life that they led helped so many others and inspired this forum and awards. I'd like to talk about legacy and finding our why in helping others, as it's something that I've really been focusing on this past year. I'm not ignorant to the fact that while you see me standing here today, I've got an army surrounding me. On my side, my wife, Alexandra, who's here. She's definitely a major reason that I stand here. She's my support system, encouragement, and always there to ground me, pull it back when I get a little crazy in my effort to change the world one film at a time. I do love you and I appreciate you, babe. So I just want to say that. Behind me, you don't see my parents. They raised my brother and I to know right from wrong and tried to give us what they didn't have. They were first-generation college students who allowed us to pursue our dreams and let me know I could be whatever I wanted to be. Yet behind them stands my grandparents, and this is where I really want to paint a picture. So December 7th, 2017, I sat on the floor of the ping pong room in the Google office of San Francisco. I was receiving the news that my grandmother had passed, and it was expected, but it cemented the loss of that generation on my dad's side. Her husband had passed the year before, and so my soul was shaken once again as I thought about their life and legacy. Again, here I am on the floor of the Google office in San Francisco as a part of the Google Next Generation Leaders Program. And I thought, did my grandfather know that when he decided to make a deal with his father to give his checks from the Army in exchange for him leaving the farm in Mansoura, Louisiana, that it would get me there? I couldn't shake that profound weight of this thought, and it gave me a sense of responsibility that I had to give back for the sacrifices that were made for me on all sides of my family. So I view my work in increasing the voice of women and people of color in the media, tough and thankless as it is at times, as a way to open doors in the way that doors have been opened for me. In front of me stands my two children, Ella, 6, and Kevin, 4. And they are the future, and they are my why. December 8th, 2017, coming home from that same trip, I was riding home with my family from the airport, and my wife informed me that my daughter said she wished her skin was white. It sounds so much better when you write it, but not when you say it. Oh, goodness, it just took me back there for a second. Gosh, I'm a crier. I got it from my mom, who's behind me. Thank you. But so what happened was a month before, a boy in her class had said that her skin looked like poop. And so we dealt with that like on the school level, but I just realized that it's obviously still affected her. This is not cool for the stream, for YouTube, for whatever. But already dealing with my grandmother's death, I just lost it like I did now. So it saddened me that I knew in my head that by the age of 5, we know our race and where we stand in society. Get it together. And so now it physically manifested itself in my home. So the truth be told, the Girl Power film block this past year at the DC Black Film Festival was done in an effort for my daughter to see herself on the big screen. You guys are too kind. Because I wanted her to know that, she's important as anyone else. The Making Black Lives Matter Through Film panel has always been about having a tough conversation in a safe space. But deep down, it's because if the stone of a conversation can have a ripple effect in the pond of care and compassion and allow my son to make it home safely in the future, it's worth it. The fact that my wife and I have had a conversation with my son at the age of 3 that he cannot act like he's shooting a gun made out of a plastic card like kids do in a restaurant because some people may want to kill him is absolutely ridiculous. But that's the world that we live in. So I'll continue to collaborate with organizations like Film Fatale and lift women up in the media through my show Picture Lock and various other platforms. I'll continue to make sure people of color know that they matter because we do. I hope that's a legacy that I can leave for future generations. And I'll leave you with these questions. What's the injustice that you see in your life? How are you combating it? It could be as simple as standing up for someone who's being harassed or volunteering, or as grand as starting an organization, but we can all combat injustice in some way. What's the why that will help push through those late nights or times when you want to give up? It's in that pure place that we can combat the injustices in our world in an effort to keep the focus on the beauty of it. Because what I've seen is that even when your why comes from a selfish, personal place, there's always someone who can relate and who will benefit from your effort. And it's only truly selfish when we don't act. Thank you for not making me feel bad about crying. Thank you for this award.